Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening, good evening. So we are live for the self series today, and I'm super excited about today's session. Like, I've been looking forward to it, and I'm sure that we are all going to have a nice time with Joseph. Um, so if anyone is online and you can hear me, please drop a comment so that we can proceed. Hello, hi, anybody online? Do we have anybody here joining us for today's series? So, surprisingly, tomorrow is going to be 1st November. Like, like we're about rounding up 2021, and it's just so. I've been doing a bit of reflection on how fast everything has moved. How just some days ago we're writing goals, and today we're about going to November, like the second to the last month of the year. And maybe I should just use this opportunity before I bring Sir Joseph on to congratulate every one of us for surviving, for staying strong, for dealing with our limiting beliefs, for staying strong despite challenges and hardships that came. And we are here, and we are here, and we are here. We are living, we are loving, we are lifting, we are happy. Congratulations. And today's series is going to be really, really interesting. So if you join us, do well to drop a comment, do well to drop your questions. So Joseph will be really, really glad to engage with every one of us. And I've still not seen any comment, but I can see that somebody has liked. So definitely you guys can hear me. So I think we'll proceed. Sir Joseph is a filmmaker, and I think one of the most interesting thing about him for me is how intentional he is about reaching out to young people. So over time, I've seen him make uploads of him in secondary schools, reaching out to children, reaching out to youth, and the fact that he's very intentional about self development and personal development, reaching out to people and helping them become their best um, self. So with those experiences that he has, he'll be coming on to share with us today. Please do well to stay open and stay ready to be transformed as much as you as much as he shares with us. So so intentional about self-development and helping them become their best good evening, so Joseph. Are you here? Coming on to share with us today. Please do well
Hello, good
to
evening.
stay
Can you hear
open
me?
and stay ready. Yeah, very well.
Hello, can you hear me? All right, good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting me today. I I sincerely feel
Hello,
so.
Joseph.
Can you hear me?
Can you
Hello,
hear me?
hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can
All
hear
right.
you. Yes.
Yeah. I said good evening. Good evening, Mercy. Thank you very much for inviting me for today's edition of the Self Series. I am grateful for
Yeah,
the
thank you
invite.
so much for agreeing to be on the series today. I really look forward to all that you have to share with us, how your journey has been so far. I really, really look forward to listening to you pour out yourself to us. So you have the floor, you can introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Joseph, Joseph Adeleke. I'm a filmmaker, a writer, and a personal development coach. And I think the famous quote people know me for on the online spaces. I'm interested in seeing you become a better person while I work on me too. And I think one of the reasons why I coined that is because I feel that having everyone to become better makes the world around us better. We cannot change the environment, but if we change the individual as a person, we change people um, every individual that we meet, then we have changed the environment. So I think that's what I'm all about.
All right. Yeah, I think I've seen that quote a couple of times. I think it's in almost all your write-ups here on
Yes,
Facebook.
almost on my post. Yes,
Yeah. You're interested in
yeah,
seeing us become better while you work on you. So can you
me too.
just walk us through yeah, your journey of becoming better? Of when did you begin to take personal development seriously? When did you realize that this is something that you should do, and you would also love to help people walk that path?
Okay, okay. I think for me, it started a whole long time ago. It was unconscious. I just feel that people just come around me to ask questions and ask about um, one problem or the other, and I just feel that whatever thing I tell them seems to be the solution they are all looking for, and it has been happening like that. I didn't see it as a big deal. I just felt that it was me trying to give answer to a question. So, but with time, I realized that what I knew, a whole lot of people did not know. So I should actually take it serious because people want to know about those things. So then I started. I think for the whole teenager part of it, teenagers part of it started in 2018. So that was when I started taking it serious when I went for my service in Abia State. So I think that was
Okay.
pretty much the time.
Okay, nice. So I am trying to like understand, like you just noticed that you could actually give valuable answers to people, and when
Yeah.
they have problems, they come to you, you share with them, and the solutions you give to them tend to work.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
So
just felt that. What do you say?
that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so can you
Yeah.
take us through your possible struggles, especially with self? So I think one of the things I'm wanting to see with this program is making sure that people understand that the people that do great things don't do them because they are whole. Like they just woke up one morning and then had this um drive, and then they just went all out and it was just perfect for them. So people actually had struggles, but they are still they are still winning regardless of this struggle. So could you take us through your journey? Was there any self issues you had to struggle with? Doubt, limiting beliefs, depression, all those things that tend to limit us and the potentials that we carry. If you ever had
Okay.
to encounter any, how you were able to like thrive
Okay.
even
So I would start with how I came about my studio, and because that was the first thing people knew me for. They knew me for the film and the photography and all this kind of thing. So it was in 2016 when I graduated from the University of Lagos, and because of the self pride of submitting CV to places, I just didn't want to do that. I felt that I could start a business on my own. So I wrote out. I remember that time I wrote out the basic things I would need to set up a studio, and that was just the camera and the laptop, and maybe a flashlight or two, one or two or so. So it was not that much of a thing, but by the time I calculated the money I needed about 500,000 naira. So, and that was in 2016. So I started reaching out to friends, families, and a whole lot of people. And one thing I realized that time was that those people I felt that I had around me, they actually were not around me. They were not as close as I felt that they were because they started running for me. If I try to reach out to them, I try to call them, they will not pick my call because they felt that this guy wants to ask us for money. And some of them that I sent message to, they didn't reply me, and I started having the old doubts that I don't think I can do this. And I think I dropped the idea of starting a studio at that time, around that 2017. And so something happened. I had a friend at that time because I stayed at Ikorodu in Lagos. So I had a friend living at the far end of Lagos, like Yaba or something. So, or at the center of Lagos, something. So, I usually see the guy's post on WhatsApp, his studio. So I reached out to him. It was close to my birthday, around I think May 1st or something. So my birthday was on the 28th of May. So I called him earlier, the period of May, and I called him and to ask him that okay, see, I want to have a photo shoot, and I think I want to do it in your studio. He was like, Joseph, you cannot have your photo shoot in my studio. Do you understand? You're a photographer. Why do you want to have your photo shoot in my studio? Why do you want me to take your picture? But I just gave him, I forgotten the reason why I gave him, but I just told him I want him to just take a picture. It's not worry about editing it, just take my picture. Because he was emphasizing that I was not going to take my picture because I was the photographer. And that was the job I do. So I can easily get an apprentice to do that for me or something. So he grudgingly accepted. And I went to his place to um, take the shoot. So, but when I was going, I had something in my head that I'm going to this guy's place to what is it called? I wanted to go to his place to see how his studio was and how he actually managed to do all these things. So while he's probably taking my shoot or something, I can be asking him questions about how he started the studio. Do you understand? All those kind of like a research. He was doing a photo shoot for me, and I was ready to pay him for the photo shoots. I think he charged me 15,000 for a section at that time, and so I was ready to pay him for him to take my picture. I had a camera rather, and I could take that picture myself, but I was willing to pay him to take my picture. Not because I'm interested in the picture that I wanted to take, but because I wanted him to give me answers to some of the questions that I needed. But that was a personal thing in my own head. Nobody knew about that. That's just what was inside my head. So by the time I got there, he took my shoot. I started asking him about the backdrop, about the light, about the whatever. So he felt that I knew about all these things. So he started telling me, no, this backdrop, I bought it for this amount. I did this thing. If you want to get it for cheaper price, go this. Do you understand? So he started giving me all those things. But the most remarkable thing that I found out um, in a studio was the fact that the studio was just a small cubicle. If I stretch my hand like this, I mean wide like this, that was almost the size of the studio. Very, very small. And but it was just long, but small, tiny. I doubt if it would occupy if you could take 4 people on a row as a picture. So it was tiny. But whenever saw that place on WhatsApp at that time, it looked so big. So in my head, I just saw it that um, you have a whole lot of us have so many things that we take for granted, and there was an empty room in my father's house that was just empty. Nothing was happening there. So I decided to go there. There was nothing there. I had only a camera, and at that time I was shooting a short film, and I broke some TV that was worth about 270,000 naira, and I was broke without a penny. So I needed to pay for the TV, I needed to set up the studio, and there was nobody that was willing to give me 5,000 naira to add to the money that I needed to set up the studio. But I just had it in my head that this is what I want to do. I don't know. I'm a religious person, so I feel that whenever you have something that you want to do, the universe or God would actually put those things in line, and it doesn't come easy. Nothing comes easy actually. It should be so stressful and can make you want to take the advice of Lot's wife and curse God. Do you understand? It can be so creepy. so so what I did was I went home. I told my father at that time that I would like him to please give me the space to use for my studio. And he said, no problem. There was nobody that was actually going to rent the house at that time, anyways. So I should make use of it for whatever thing I wanted to do. And so, because I graduated as a student of English or from the Department of English, so I still savvy speak English small. So I decided to I decided to do that thing that I have been running from, going to a place to seek for employment. So I went to apply for a job as a teacher to teach English and literature. So it was at that place that while I was teaching English and literature that I had to, what is it called? It was while I was teaching English and literature, my salary as an English teacher, I would keep it. I was not collecting the salary. I would speak to the administrator that, okay, at the end of the month, you're supposed to give me my salary, but just hold it. Don't worry. I don't need it. So I was working for free, basically. I was working for free, and the place was not really far from my house, so I would go every day. Sometimes I would be very, very hungry, look like someone that had been, well, on the online space. I would have used the fucked up word, but I was looking fucked up, please. So that was how it was, anyway. So I was so stressed out. Trust me, it was not a funny ride because you make money, you can't spend it. Do you understand? I'll have to look for any other way to feed myself. So that was just it. I was working and was not spending the money. So at the end of the term, I'll go to my administrator and tell her that, okay, you have kept my money for 3 months. Give me those money and let me add it together. So she gave me the money and I'll take it to the market and buy a light stand. The funny thing is that I've worked for 3 months and the thing that I want to go and buy in the market is just one small thing like this phone. Do you understand? Because film and photography equipment are very, very expensive. So it's like you're working so hard and what you want to buy is so little, looking so tiny. Do you understand? So it's so expensive. So that was what I was doing. I was doing that. But I think the first thing I got was a tripod stand. I got a backdrop. I started buying things and things into the studio. From 2017, I opened a studio officially in 2018. So from 2017, around, let me just say from June, I was buying things consistently and I was not earning a penny. I was not feeding myself. I was not eating anything. So by 2018, I decided to launch the studio, and that was when the whole thing kind of changed, sort of. So it's not simple as I say it because it's a big deal to work and eat from the money that you work for. But a situation whereby you're just working and you don't even have the opportunity of spending from that money, that's where everything seems so creepy. So I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy this section of staying consistent despite drawbacks. Staying consistent despite drawbacks. I believe the idea of staying consistent. I wrote it down. I said, though, what does it mean to stay consistent despite drawbacks? You have, though you have reason to give up, but you just have to keep at it. Even when things don't work in your favor, you just still have to keep at it. And this is one of the most important things people need to pay attention to. People need to pay attention to the fact that things don't just work the way they see them. It's it's a process. It's a process, and one need to keep staying consistent no matter how many drawbacks they face. And because I had a whole lot of reasons to stop at that time when I was trying to open the studio. I had many reasons to stop. I was not having anybody to support, and I was earning, but I was not spending it on myself. And even sometimes today, I still earn, I don't spend it on myself. Do you understand? So, but I think that's one of those things, anyways.
Okay, so if I was going to give you a name, I think I'd say resilience, because
Yeah.
because from your even before now, from your posts and some of the stuff I read about you, I could just see that you are someone that just keeps striving regardless. So I remember reading a post you made some time back about having to go for an interview, I think a TV interview, for a
Oh
book.
my God, that was recently, like this year. It happened this year,
Where
actually.
with the time, and the second day you went there and even got there earlier, like I think minutes or so before the time of the interview. So I don't know, did you build yourself to that point? Because it could come naturally to you, but sincerely staying, this staying power, being able to stay at something and keep at it regardless of trials and situations, is not always easy for people. So would you say it comes naturally to you, or you built yourself, you decided, or is it a conscious thing you do, or it comes naturally to you, you don't struggle with it? I'll read it.
Okay, I think I need to read something out. I wrote something down. Hope you don't mind.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
I wrote that what should we consider in days of drawbacks, right? And the first thing I wrote was to understand why. Do you understand? Why are you actually into this thing? Do you understand? Is it something that you just want to do for fun, or you want to do it because you want to do it? Do you understand? Um, I was speaking to someone recently, and I said there is just one opportunity for you to make the right impression. Do you understand? Of course, there might be a couple of opportunities for you to still make the right impression, but that first one will stay longer than every other one. Because anytime the person wants to say, ah, the first time he did that, he actually messed up. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
so there's always a couple of times that you might be given the opportunity to do something, but the first time is always the best time. So for the story of that interview, I put in for a program earlier this year, and I met a lady, and fortunately she was an OAP in a TV station, and she promised to give me a free slot on my birthday. Do you understand? So on my birthday, she promised to give me a free slot for my book because I was launching my book on my birthday. So she said that she was going to give me a free slot to have my interview on Rave TV, on Go TV, Rave TV, Go TV, something like that. So um, it was a big deal to me. This is the I think I started taking the online thing, I mean, for writing seriously from last year. So, but seriously, it started fully this year. So it's more like a miracle for me to just want to write a book this year, and someone is calling me for an interview on TV to get it. So it's I was watching an interview by Tyler Perry recently, and he said that if God is interested in what you want to do, you understand, things will fall in place for you. Do you understand? Things will just fall in place, and it will be difficult, but you would see. It would always give you a green light. Do you understand? It will always give you a green light to show you that you are in the right place. Just don't worry. Keep at it. So I think the green light came for me when she promised to give me the free slot, and I went to watch the show of the previous people that they've invited, and it's not a small show. It's a big deal. That's why it's on my DP. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it. So it's a big deal actually. So so it's a big deal, and took it seriously that I wanted to attend. Do you understand? And give. I don't know who is watching. Trust me. I would finish this story, then go back to something else that I remember. So I don't know who is watching. So I went for the this thing. I underestimated Lagos traffic. Do you understand? So I left home around 6, feeling that before 7 I should have gotten to where I was going to. But I was still on the road by 8. Do you understand?
Wow.
Because I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be live on TV by 8 o'clock on the dot. I was supposed to have been inside the studio already 7:45, so that by 8 o'clock they start the show. So I was still on the road by 8 o'clock, and she felt so disappointed because she was only the one on set, and she was speaking to the camera about something else that she didn't plan for. So she had to be spontaneous about making that show run for the day because she has booked me for that day. So I felt disappointed, and I met with her, and she told me that I wanted to find a way to just make that program run that day. So she said I should not worry, that she will book me for another one. I actually doubted it that it would happen. Just that she just called me out of the blues like the following week and told me that, okay, you know what, come next week for um, the episode you missed. And that was just how it happened. And I had to give my best shot. And after that interview, I know a whole lot of things that has happened after that time. I actually don't take things like that for granted. I don't take sports like this for granted. I don't care. Do you understand? When it started, I don't care how long you have been doing this. Do you understand? If you just started yesterday and you want to invite me today, you are giving me an opportunity to speak to the people that you know. Do you understand? And I think that's the idea that you should put into this thing. I don't know why I'm advising you now. So, so I think that's the idea you should put into this thing. That you're actually giving somebody an opportunity to speak to the people that you know. Do you understand? Because the people that I know the people that you know, and the people that you know, I know the people that I know. So if you are giving me an opportunity to speak to the people that you know, then it's a privilege for me. So I remember my cousin invited me um, for his program on his what's it called on his group. So he invited me to speak on his program, and I was speaking. Trust me, I was speaking like I never knew him. I was speaking like I never knew him because it's a sport for me. Do you understand? And the fact that there's a bloodline connecting us. Do you understand? The people that he knows are not the people that I know. I think that's the mindset that I work with actually. So I had to take advantage of that thing, and it was from that um, program that I had with him that I met a mentor that resides in Canada, and she does all this personal development coaching thing, and she has helped me achieve a whole lot of things this year because I met her earlier this year, maybe around April or May or so, something like that. You understand? And it's just the remarkable thing that she has helped me put in check has been so overwhelming for me, and or very interesting for me because if I she whenever we talked, she said if I didn't really make the impression that she liked when she watched the live show just like this, she most likely would not have connected with me because I could feel it while I was talking during my cousin's program. She was just typing that I like this person that is talking, and does he have a book? At that time, I've not published my book. I said my book is on the way. Don't worry. Just so I think it's a sport actually. So one other thing that I wrote, never confuse what you want to do with how it should be done. Do you understand? Never confuse what you want to do with how it should be done. You know, I was saying you should understand the why, then you should never confuse what you want to do with how it should be done. Sometimes what you want to do is to open a studio. Do you understand? How it should be done should not be confused. You don't need to follow the same route someone else followed. Do you understand? You can create another route yourself. So I think how it applied to me was the fact that I I didn't need an investor to invest in my business. I didn't need a family member to support me. I had to dust my English certificate and go and apply as a teacher and use my salary to fund myself. So sometimes, if you feel that someone should support you, you might kill your dream. If you feel that you're waiting for an investor to pay into that, you might still kill your dream. My annual program, Camera Me, that I run, is the same thing. I don't have anybody that's investing in that thing. I'm hoping that maybe United Nation or any other people will be interested in that kind of thing. Do you understand? But since I've been doing this thing, I've been using my money and maybe friends and some of my clients in what's it called, in my film, in my photography business and all those things that are interested in what I do, just support me with money and all this kind of thing. So it has been majorly my money, and it is something that I'm not even earning from. Do you understand? Last year, someone saw a poster of the program and said to the person that she was beside that this guy does not know what he wants to use this money for. He wants to waste 100,000 naira on some teenagers that he did not know. Do you understand? At that point, I needed 100,000 myself. Do you understand? That money I needed it myself. Any money that I give out does not mean that I don't need it. Do you understand? But there's a whole lot of miracles that happen with just a token, um, and it stays forever. Do you know that there are silent prayers? There are silent prayers that the mouth is unable to say, but the heart does. Do you understand? So sometimes someone does something to you, and you just don't know how to say thank you to the person. Not that you cannot say thank you, but you have been so you cannot believe that the thing just happened, and the spirit, do you understand? Yoruba used to call that kind of thing a leather. Do you understand? Your spirit person, your spirit being would just be praying for that person. So I remember the winner of in my acting category, the last edition, when the young girl won. Her mother called me and she was calling and she was calling me and thanking me like for the whole day after the program. How much did she win? 30,000 naira. Because we split the money into four the 100,000 into 25, 25, 25. And we have, for her, she was fortunate and someone dashed 5,000 naira aside from the 25,000 naira. So it was 30,000 naira she took home that day. So her mother kept on calling me to thank me for what? 25,000 naira. Do you understand? But she had to share a story that her husband lost job a couple of days before then, and they were not even sure how they were going to spend the Christmas. So the money came when they needed to have a Christmas holiday because they didn't even know how they were going to spend the Christmas. So it was more like they used the money to spend to celebrate the Christmas. The other person that won also, the boy mother is late, his father doesn't stay at home, he does not have money for school fees and all those kind of things. So there are silent prayers like that that just work for you, and that those are the things that just keep me on. That um, I sincerely don't know the kind of prayer that is actually working for me at the moment. So whatever I can do to make someone else's life better, let me just see what I can do to get that ready.
All right, thank you, Joseph. So from what you've shared, I think one of the key takeaways for me is I think diligence, being able to stay true to what you actually feel you should do. even without having support and help from external forces. So I think
Yeah.
one of the things that limits us a lot is waiting and wanting someone to come to just be there, like a God that will come and take the weight off our shoulders and then just lead us on our path. While it's necessary that we seek help, it's also important that we are able to discipline ourselves to the point. Okay, look at you having to save because you know what you want, you knew where you were going to, you had a vision for yourself, and because I'm trying to see it like it was overwhelming for you, like it was something that you
Oh.
are is something that you are so passionate about. And you know that one thing I understand with passion and dreams and desires is that if it's not working out, there is usually no joy. So for
Yeah,
me,
at all.
you lose joy when you are not working in purpose. No matter how much you are making from something that is not giving you, that you're not passionate about, joy won't come. So
At all.
I feel that people develop joy and happiness and peace when they do the things they love. So you
Yeah.
being able to bring yourself to the point where you could give up every other thing just to make sure that even your desire not to work for someone, you have to put it aside just to make sure that you're able to make enough to start up what you are passionate about. I think that's like amazing. I think that's the mindset that we should all cultivate. Have the drive to go after what you want, regardless of what it is. Pay the price at certain points to get what you want. I remember sometime last year I was on a job and it was frustrating. Like it was not something I loved. I was just there because at that point I could not do any other thing. And that was the space that was available to me. Then I was talking to someone and I was asking him that what will he say about someone that can't stay on a job that does not give them joy because they are looking for something better? And then he told me that at different points in our lives, what we do with the space we find ourselves in at a time is what matters. So as
Oh, I
I'm
love
there,
that person already.
yeah, what's my plan? What am I getting? What am I gearing towards? What am I expecting that if I leave this space, what will I get? What would I have gotten from here? So it's not like a wasted time, but we should see it as a time of investing. So I think this point you raised is a very essential one and it really spoke to me. So yeah, you still have more to share. You still have anything to
Yeah,
share
yeah.
before we
So that thing that you just mentioned. Okay, let me just say the last thing. I wrote pause if there is a need to, but don't stop. Do you understand? So there is difference between pausing and stopping. So I had to pause um, the film or whatever thing that I was doing just to go and teach. So I was not stopping it. I had it at the back of my mind that this is what I'm doing actually, but I paused it because I need fund from here to put into this place. So sometimes you need to pause instead of stopping. So that is not quitting. People can interpret it as being as quitting, but you know that you are just pausing for the main time. But while you are pausing, just do something. Okay, I don't know if you notice. I started by the time I started posting on Facebook, I was posting every day. I was posting every day. I was posting every day, like new fresh content, and the reactions were massive. Like, and I was posting on different platforms, different groups, and all those kind of things. So, but as at let me just say a month or two, I think okay, my father died like in July, so around that period I had to stop. Do you understand? So I stopped posting the way I posted before because I had to survive my own trouble. But what I did was to instead of posting on all groups, I just post on my own platform, on just my profile on my page, and it could be just very short thing, short wise thing, a Bible quote or whatever. I just make sure that I showed up every day, whatever way form. of showing up that I can, let me just show up. Do you understand? And I might not write as much as I write before. I'm doing that every day because at the moment I'm now doing like four or five things at the same time, and it's very hard to give those things attention. But while I know that writing is something that I want to do, speaking is something that I want to do, filming is what I'm passionate about, then I give them this showing up thing. Like I show up in my film, I show up in my writing, I show up in my speaking. Do you understand? So that people don't feel that this guy has been off for a while now. Where is he? Do you understand? But if they keep seeing you, they know that you are active. Sometimes I've been off for a very long time, but I'm just posting just small quotes. Do you understand? Just small a verse or whatever, and just for people to see it that this guy is online, this guy is alive. I might not touch my phone for the whole day. Maybe that's just what I posted, and I leave the online space for the rest of the day. But because people need to see that you are not off, you must not stop. You can just pause, but not stop. And if that thing is at the back of your mind, you will achieve more than you should. The first time I started the Camera Is Me program, I was posting every day. I mean, every day. I was just coming back to Lagos from Abia State at that time, and because I'm not that kind of person that actually come outside and do. No, I don't really know how to do that thing. So the program was the first experience I have for me to do that kind of thing, to go out in public and tell them that okay, this is what I have in my head and I want to do for these teenagers. Come and be part of it. Do you understand? I don't do that kind of thing, but because it has become a burden for me, I decided to take it up. Then I was posting every day. One day, uh, one of the guys in my environment was complaining to my brother bitterly, like he was complaining, like he was feeling hot, and he was telling my brother that um, I am feeling uncomfortable with your brother. And why is it that anytime I click on my Facebook page, I will not see anybody's post? It is Joseph Adeleke, Joseph Adeleke, Joseph Adeleke, Joseph Adeleke. Joseph Adeleke posted this 2 days ago. Joseph Adeleke. It'll be like, is he the only friend I have on Facebook?
Hi, Joseph. Are you still here?
Complain. I don't know if you got my. Do you get what I said?
No, no, no. The
Hello?
network went off.
Yes, it
The
went off.
network.
I noticed. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can
Yeah,
hear
so
you.
I feel that what brought about the complaint was because he could not help but see my name one after the other. And I'm posting, seeing that this person has posted 2 days ago, this person posted 3 days ago, this person posted hours ago. Is he the only one I have on Facebook? Why is he there? Do you understand? So for me, that name, Joseph Adeleke, tend to stay in his subconscious. Then he just know that there is somebody bearing that name. Do you understand? You just know that there's somebody bearing that, in as much as he's trying to avoid the person, avoid being part of what the person does. He just he has been forced to know about it. Why? Because you show up regularly. So if you are pausing, still show up. You might not show up in full, but show up in part. Do you understand? Because it makes your relevance strong. Do you understand? So sometimes you might be weak, sometimes you might be feeling so tired, just like you said. So sometimes you might be feeling that way. Show up with this program. Do you understand? It might be just to invite your neighbor, even if you were unable to invite a guest. Just invite somebody random. Do you understand? Even if it's a friend, just come up and just show up with the person so that you can make it a date that for this last month I didn't miss it. For this month I didn't miss it. Do you understand? Because people are watching. A friend of mine was telling me that don't care if you don't have a view. People are watching. People are watching. I've gone to a couple of people that to ask for their advice and all these things, and I hear them tell me that I see what you're doing on Facebook. Oh, really? So you see what I'm doing on Facebook, and you cannot even comment and say, Joseph, I see what you're doing. But
Yeah.
you will not comment, you will not like it, but you're saying it. So a whole lot of people are actually seeing what you're doing, and that is where your consistency, despite the drawbacks of not having the views that you need, despite the drawbacks of not having the comment that you need, despite the drawbacks of not having the reactions that you need. Do you understand? That's where it needs to stay. Do you understand? So I feel that's one thing to share.
Okay, Joseph, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on board today. Thank you for sharing and taking us through your journey. Seriously, the issue of consistency, I think that it's something that we all need to put in mind. Like the phrase you gave, pause but don't stop. It's very, very
Yes,
important.
pause, but don't stop, please.
Should frame it somewhere and keep it somewhere where I can always see it. It's or your state or even while you're on pause, you should also be able to like show up, even not if you're not showing up to 100, at least you should be putting yourself out on a daily basis. So I feel that we should all the thing with self is if it's not working the way you want it to, you just want to pack up and leave. It's
Yeah,
just
yes.
how
It happens
human
like that.
to happen at the flick of our fingers. We want everything to just work out. And when it's not working that way, there's this tendency to want to just go back, to want to give it all up, to want to let go. It's always like that. But being able to train ourselves to the point where we can keep going, we can keep moving, we can keep trying, even when it's not working out. I think that's what will make all the difference. Because if 95% of the population in the world are going back and saying they are tired, the 5% that will keep going, not because things are easy, but because they know what they want and they just want to keep at it, they are the ones that would bring the change. They are the ones that would make the relevance that we all want to make. They're the ones that will leave footprints. And I think that is something that we should all strive for, to be able to leave footprints, to be able to impact lives before we finally leave. So it's not about us, it's not about you coming on here, it's not just about me coming to sit down here. It's because there is a mentality that people need to be impacted, lives need to be changed. So when we understand that these things, that desire you have in your heart, yeah, so to the viewers, the desires you have in your heart are not just yours alone. They're not just for you. The passion that God has placed in your heart is not just for you, but for the people that you will come across. The fact that I show up on Facebook is not just for me, it's for the persons I feel that may come up and watch this and listen to Joseph's story and get the courage to want to continue with life, to want to push through, to want to wake up tomorrow, to want to go on with that job, to want to write that content, to want to reach out to that teenager. So we should always have it at the back of our mind that everything we do, everything that our lives are about, is not just about us, but about the persons that we are meant to impact. Thank you so much, Joseph, for coming on board today. I really do appreciate all that you
Thank you.
shared. So maybe in 2 minutes, just give a parting word. What will you say to the people that have watched it today? What advice would you leave for them? And you said something about giving a copy of your ebook to
Yeah,
whoever
so
is. I
okay, so
think
I
that I
would
see statements here. So you're giving us that ebook.
really. So what happened is I would leave the a link, an open link of the book on your comment. So I will do that for the next 24 hours before I remove it from there. Do you
Okay,
understand?
so whoever
So for anybody that gets to watch it and are interested. So I'll do that after this program. So
all right, all
but
right.
but there's something that I would say as a last thing for today is for everyone that is interested should have a source. Do you understand? Because sometimes even the strongest feel weak. Do you understand? So you just need a source to fetch the old motivation from again. And most of the time, I think in my the lowest part of my life while I was in Abia State at that time was I I had to find my own source in the church that I was attending at that time to get it. So sometimes it is probably in the word that the pastor says that encourage you, those encouraging word or whatever. Do you understand? Sometimes it could be in the mentor that you appreciate and the person is living that kind of life that you want to model. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I posted something recently about that kind of thing, how I have been stalking Tyler Perry, and because I feel that he had a whole lot of challenge that same way too. So I feel that if you feel that you are getting down, you are getting to that lowest point of your life that you feel that I can't do this again, just find a source. And you should have a reliable source. I mean, the spiritual one is better than the physical one, anyways. So just have something to hold on to. I think that's majorly what I would say.
Thank you
And
so much. Thank you for
thank you too for inviting me. Thank you very much.
so much. It's been amazing listening to you speak. Thank you so much. We'll be expecting the link to
I would,
the ebook. I want to read that ebook, and I hope that I'm able to get a copy of your book soon. I will try to get one, and I want to say a very big thank you to Ajeh joined us. I can see Samuel, Dorcas, um, Favor. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really amazing seeing you drop comments and all. Thank you. So when Joseph drops the link, please try to get a copy of the ebook and go through it. And then I'll see you in November's edition. Joseph said we can pause, but we can't stop. So hopefully I hope
yeah.
that I'm consistent. We all get to like learn and grow together as we. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you,
All
Joseph,
right.
once again. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.